Hey guys, I'm Ethan Moore from Stockman Supply. Today I want to show you how to assemble the new universal sliding track with our new universal track clamp, which is over here. But anyway, what you're going to get in the package is the track, two black rails, a left and a right, the universal track clamp, as well as a hardware package that will look something like this. It may be in a bag, it may be in a little package like that. And you will need these three tools to assemble it: a 9/16 wrench, a 7/16 wrench, and a Phillips screwdriver. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to start with is these black rails. We're going to attach the track supports right here. Now you're going to want these track supports set depending on the size of your bandsaw. So if you have quite a small bandsaw table like I have here on this Rikon 10-inch, we're going to have these set closest to the two holes that will attach to the track. If it's a medium size, center holes. If it's a very large bandsaw, the furthest holes. But yeah, we're going to set it in the small holes here. You want that 1/4 20 flathead bolt to go in these holes here like this. And just drop them all over. They're going to line up just like that. And we're going to add a washer and a nut to the bottom. So we're not going to tighten these up yet with a wrench and a screwdriver. We're just going to finger tighten these until we actually have it on our table. So we're just going to set that aside, grab the other one, and I should say you want the large flat portion pointed towards the inside. So if this is an angle here, you got the short side of the angle and the long side is going to attach to the top of the long side, and the large flat area is going to be sticking out beyond the short flat side. Hopefully that makes sense. So again, same thing. Okay, we got them both on there, so now we're going to get to attaching them to the track. So with the track, we got a large flat side right here, and then a smaller side, so it's asymmetrical. What we're going to do is put the larger, flatter side towards the blade, and you're either going to line it up to the outside of your table like this, or you could line it up to the miter track on your bandsaw table. Now, because this bandsaw table is quite small, I'm going to line it up to the outside of my table, and I'm also going to try to have that blade pretty close to the center of the track, so we got even infeed and outfeed there. So I'm probably a little off here. We'll say about there. Okay, so now next thing I'll do, I'm going to grab two of the 3/8 hex bolts. You're going to slide them in each side here, each one of these slots. Then you're going to take the appropriate rail, which is this guy, so that the track support is on the far side of the blade. That's going to go up over like this. Hopefully you can see this, Kate.
Well, I can see your head.
We're just going to line up those two bolts just like that. Have the washer and the nut here, and throw that on that bolt. And once again, we're just going to finger tighten this for now. Same thing over here. Okay, so now we'll move on to this side here. Okay, so we have it all finger tight assembled here. So like I was talking about earlier, you're going to want to line this back of the track up with your table or the miter track in your bandsaw, whatever works better for you. And then, while this is lined up, you're going to push this black rail tight and flat up against the side of your bandsaw table. Now, if your bandsaw table has a fence rail on it, like this one, you're going to go right up against that fence rail. If you wanted, you could take that fence rail off, but there's no reason to. Or if it doesn't have a fence rail on it, you're just going to go right up against the cast table. So yeah, in this case, up against that fence rail, we're going to tighten these nuts on the bottom, grab our 9/16 wrench, and snug that up. Okay, and we'll do the same on the side. Make sure it's flat up against. So now, this table should slide back and forth, just like that. These guys here aren't tight yet, so we're just going to grab 7/16 wrench and a Phillips screwdriver, and we're just going to tighten them in place here. And you can just make them relatively straight. So that is the main part of setting up the track. Last thing we got to do is attach the universal track clamp. Just gotta find that here. Right here. Okay, so when you get the clamp, it's going to look a lot like this. These front nuts are adjustable for the thickness of your bandsaw table. So if we go down and we look at this particular bandsaw, you can see where this fence rail sits. It's about maybe 1.5 inches thick from the top of the table to the bottom of that fence rail. So what we'll do, it's going to adjust it about here. This is going to slide in the bottom of your track. And you're just going to, oh, I should loosen this first. Okay, I'll slide that in. We're going to tighten that up. Now you want this track clamp to sit flat or fairly parallel with the top of your table. So once you get it to this point where you have it fairly flat, you're just going to screw these nuts in so that they just touch, or screw the bolts in, I should say, the bottom of that fence rail. And then we got these lock nuts on the bottom that we'll just put up here. Lock it up. And lock it up. So now you can just go ahead, tighten that up. Track's not going to slide. If I loosen that, track will slide just fine. So if you wanted to remove the track altogether, you just loosen this clamp, you slide it out, and lift it off. And if you want to put it back on, same idea. Slide it in. You might need to align that clamp just a little bit. Away you go. So that there is the universal track clamp or track fully assembled. And then you can just go ahead and put your little ripper or round ripper on top. So yeah, if anybody else has any questions, you can email me at info@stockroomsupply.com or just comment on the video. Thanks for watching.
Ethan?
Yes.
Keen-eyed viewers might be wondering, have you recently been attacked by a vicious animal?
No, why?
Oh,
Oh, right there.
This particular sleeve of yours featured quite a bit in this video.
No, I don't even know how that happened, to be totally honest.